John McCain, body and mind, front and center tonight, as he has now dropped both of his prominent evangelical endorsers and also let the media see hundreds of pages of records about the state of his physical well-being. Our number 3 story tonight, we begin with the body, and despite McCain's past boasting about his openness, he only gave the media 3 hours to review 1,173 pages of material. By our calculations, that's about 9 seconds per page. The campaign restricted the records to 20 reporters, all convening in one room at a resort in Fountain Hills, Arizona. No photocopying of the documents, no cameras or cell phones. Note-taking could include the use of computers, a useful skill if you could type 1/9 of a page per second. The headline on the substance, no headline, no previously unknown ailments, but details about treatment of his known health problems, including regular checks for any recurrence of melanoma, the most dangerous form of skin cancer. McCain also suffering from arthritis and physical limitations related to his torture in Vietnam. Doctors also emphasized just how good a heart McCain has, literally, which brings us to the quality of that organ metaphorically. When asked last night about his renunciation of Pastor John Hagee's endorsement, McCain gave a remarkable answer, remarkable not for his condemnation about what Hagee had said about Jews, that Hitler was sent by God to push Jews into Israel, but remarkable because the question was why this comment led McCain to drop the endorsement when other Hagee comments about other people had not.
I just think that the statement is crazy and unacceptable, and certainly Reverend Hagee, Pastor Hagee, is entitled to his views, but we've reached a point where that kind of statement simply, I would reject the endorsement of the expression of those kinds of views.
Not crazy, therefore, not unacceptable, therefore, the comments Hagee made that McCain knew about while keeping his endorsement about women on PMS worse than terrorists or dogs, the Catholic Church, the great whore, in Hagee's words, and, of course, Hagee's infamous assessment of Hurricane Katrina.
I believe that New Orleans had a level of sin that was offensive to God, and they were recipients of the judgment of God for that. The newspaper carried the story in our local area that was not carried nationally, that there was to be a homosexual parade there on the Monday that the Katrina came.
McCain last night also dropped the endorsement of Pastor Rod Parsley after ABC News aired the video of a Parsley sermon in which he had called Islam an anti-Christ religion and said America was founded in part to destroy Islam. Comments the McCain campaign must have known about before last night, in so much as they were reported months ago in the national magazine Mother Jones and subsequently on this NewsHour. At this point, let's turn to Chris Hayes, Washington editor of The Nation magazine. Thank you for your time tonight, sir.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
Why the tight-fisted approach to these medical records, first of all? I mean, does that suggest a McCain similarity with a certain Mr. Bush?
I think more than anything, it showed a tremendous amount of press savviness on their part. I mean, look, it's the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and this is clearly an issue. It's something that's been kind of festering and building for a while. And so why not pick the day in which people are least likely to pay attention and then restrict the parameters by which the media could look at it to 3 hours, and they got exactly what they wanted, right? Was the AP headline was McCain in good health or heart in good shape or whatever it was. And it really just shows a tremendous amount of savviness, something that I think was developed over these last years by the Bush administration in terms of restricting information to produce those kind of results.
And I guess Senator Clinton inadvertently helped him out too today. But McCain turned 72 over the summer. Ronald Reagan was 76 when he left office. Does that simple fact trump whatever other health specifics are in this report?
I think it does at a certain level. I mean, I'm a little surprised, actually. I think going into this election, I didn't think age was going to be a big factor, but I've heard it from a lot of people, particularly from senior citizens, I think, who kind of have a kind of subjective sense of their own health and the amount of energy that must be required to run for president, and are a little skeptical. And the fact of the matter is, look, if they want to open up the front of experience on Barack Obama, then the flip side of that is John McCain's age. And I don't think the election's going to be decided on it in either direction. It's going to be decided on Iraq and the economy, but it's not something that they can talk about in attacking Obama and not have to defend themselves.
The pastor disasters now, if nothing sticks from this, does that suggest that people don't really believe that he was in any way, shape, or form lined up with these guys on the evangelical right? And regarding his support from that base, could that be the biggest headline in that story, that nobody's buying this one way or the other?
You know, it might be, but in some senses, it's the fact that he isn't lined up with them that's what makes the entire exercise so cynical, right? I mean, look, we know that John McCain doesn't believe that God sent Hitler to Earth to force Jews to go to Israel. I mean, it's clearly ludicrous, and no one would associate McCain's beliefs. But McCain's people knew exactly who they were dealing with when they courted these endorsements. And the point is that we're electing someone. We're not just electing an individual. We are electing an entire coalition, and it comes with a lot of baggage. And what we're seeing right now is this very uncomfortable relationship between McCain and the baggage that he's bearing because he had to embrace it to get the nomination.
And this bit of baggage here, Huffington Post reporting that two of his campaigners, Senators Lieberman and Graham, are also part of this independent group attacking Obama, and that violates the McCain conflict of interest policy for his staff. What now?
Well, look, this is going to play a huge role, I think. We saw what 527s did in 2004. Obviously, the Swiftboat Veterans for Truth were the most well-known example. And while both candidates have made noises about the fact that they want to control their own message, they don't want these independent groups mucking around, Senator Obama has done a really good job of squashing the fundraising for the groups, while we're seeing these 527s on the right fester and grow and even have members of McCain's own campaign on board. So I think John McCain understands full well he cannot win this election unless he has the aid of kind of swift boat-like both groups out there doing their dirty work.
And their boats, too. Chris Hayes, Washington editor of The Nation magazine. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Keith.